There is nothing in the world so irresistibly contagious as laughter and good humor. Never close your lips to those whom you have already opened your heart. I loved her against reason, against promise, against peace, against hope, against happiness, against all discouragement that could be. There are books of which the backs and covers are by far the best parts. Suffering has been stronger than all other teaching, and has taught me to understand what your heart used to be. I have been bent and broken, but, I hope, into a better shape. Have a heart that never hardens, and a temper that never tires, and a touch that never hurts. A wonderful fact to reflect upon, that every human creature is constituted to be that profound secret and mystery to every other. It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known. And oh, there are days in this life, worth life and worth death. No one is useless in this world who lightens the burdens of another. We need never be ashamed of our tears. What greater gift than the love of a cat? It is a fair, even-handed, noble adjustment of things that while there is infection and disease and sorrow, there is nothing in the world so irresistibly contagious as laughter and good humor. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. The pain of parting is nothing to the joy of meeting again. You have been the last dream of my soul. To conceal anything from those to whom I am attached is not in my nature. I can never close my lips where I have opened my heart. Every traveler has a home of his own, and he learns to appreciate it the more from his wandering. In a word, I was too cowardly to do what I knew to be right, as I had been too cowardly to avoid doing what I knew to be wrong. Reflect upon your present blessings, of which every man has many, not on your past misfortunes, of which all men have some. I hope that real love and truth are stronger in the end than any evil or misfortune in the world. I wish you to know that you have been the last dream of my soul. Procrastination is the thief of time. Collar him. I will honor Christmas in my heart, and try to keep it all the year. There was a long, hard time when I kept far from me the remembrance of what I had thrown away when I was quite ignorant of its worth. No one who can read ever looks at a book, even unopened on a shelf, like one who cannot. And yet I have had the weakness, and have still the weakness, to wish you to know with what a sudden mastery you kindled me, heap of ashes that I am, into fire. There is a wisdom of the head, and there is a wisdom of the heart. The broken heart, you think you will die, but you just keep living, day after terrible day. Ask no questions, and you'll be told no lies. A loving heart is the truest wisdom. Pause, you who read this, and think for a moment of the long chain of iron or gold, of thorns or flowers, that would never have bound you but for the formation of the first link on one memorable day. I have been bent and broken, but, I hope, into a better shape. It was one of those March days when the sun shines hot and the wind blows cold, when it is summer in the light and winter in the shade. You are in every line I have ever read. Spring is the time of year when it is summer in the sun and winter in the shade. Family not only need to consist of merely those whom we share blood, but also for those whom we'd give blood. It is because I think so much of warm and sensitive hearts that I would spare them from being wounded. So, throughout life, our worst weaknesses and meannesses are usually committed for the sake of the people whom we most despise. A day wasted on others is not wasted on oneself. There is prodigious strength in sorrow and despair. Whether I shall turn out to be the hero of my own life, or whether that station will be held by anybody else, these pages must show. Take nothing on its looks. Take everything on evidence. There's no better rule. Think now and then that there is a man who would give his life to keep a life you love beside you. I must be taken as I have been made. The success is not mine. The failure is not mine, but the two together make me. I am what you designed me to be. I am your blade. You cannot now complain if you also feel the hurt. My advice is, never do tomorrow what you can do today. Procrastination is the thief of time. Collar him. The whole difference between construction and creation is exactly this: that a thing constructed can only be loved after it is constructed, but a thing created is loved before it exists. A man is lucky if he is the first love of a woman. A woman is lucky if she is the last love of a man. For it is good to be children sometimes, and never better than at Christmas, when its mighty founder was a child himself. Happiness is a gift, and the trick is not to expect it, but to delight in it when it comes. No space of regret can make amends for one life's opportunity misused. I stole her heart away and put ice in its place. Death may beget life, but oppression can beget nothing other than itself. A dream, all a dream, that ends in nothing, and leaves the sleeper where he lay down, but I wish you to know that you inspired it. A multitude of people and yet solitude. I looked at the stars, and considered how awful it would be for a man to turn his face up to them as he froze to death, and see no help or pity in all the glittering multitude. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. Heaven knows we need never be ashamed of our tears, for they are rain upon the blinding dust of earth, overlying our hard hearts. Moths, and all sorts of ugly creatures, hover about a lighted candle. Can the candle help it? Not knowing how he lost himself, or how he recovered himself, he may never feel certain of not losing himself again. Then tell wind and fire where to stop, returned Madam, but don't tell me. In the little world in which children have their existence, whosoever brings them up, there is nothing so finely perceived and so finely felt as injustice. In a utilitarian age, of all other times, it is a matter of grave importance that fairy tales should be respected. No varnish can hide the grain of the wood, and that the more varnish you put on, the more the grain will express itself. Annual income £20, annual expenditure £20.06, result misery. Life is made of so many partings welded together. Vengeance and retribution require a long time. It is the rule. There can be no disparity in marriage like unsuitability of mind and purpose. There is a man who would give his life to keep a life you love beside you. Trifles make the sum of life. I never could have done what I have done without the habits of punctuality, order, and diligence, without the determination to concentrate myself on one object at a time. Although a skillful flatterer is a most delightful companion if you have him all to yourself, his taste becomes very doubtful when he takes to complimenting other people. I must do something or I shall wear my heart away. I only ask to be free. The butterflies are free. We forge the chains we wear in life. I had considered how the things that never happen are often as much realities to us, in their effects, as those that are accomplished. It's in vain to recall the past, unless it works some influence upon the present.